And welcome. This is my third attempt at showing a video. My two other videos very quick. They didn't do very well. So I'm basically been doing doll customs for about 6 years. I actually started because my daughter was actually watching it and I saw it. I think it was Delightful was the first one I ever watched and she really loved Delightful. And I was watching it and I thought, that's really cool. I wouldn't mind learning that. But in Australia, it's very limited. I don't know a lot of doll customers away from the internet that actually do it. So a lot of the stuff I learned was actually by myself. I'm going to show you today how to pop the head off a doll. The reason why I'm doing this is because TikTok pissed me off. Sorry about the language. I'm Australian. We swear. It's our second language, swearing and butchering the English language. I made a comment about this person was posting up about how to remove a doll's head and they were using a spike, and I made a comment that I use hot water to pop the heads off my dolls, and I do this also with my Barbies, and I get this notification from TikTok that I've breached community guidelines, that what I said was an act of violence, and I'm thinking, this is a doll, this is how you remove a bloody doll's head. So I peeled it and they said nope, still breaching community guidelines, and it just pissed me off. I mean, TikTok just, oh my God. I have some really, the only reason I'm sticking on TikTok is I have made some really amazing friends on TikTok that are part of the art community, and I still talk to them, and there's like a few that aren't part of the art community and I still talk to them. Some of these are the dolls I've made, so I'm just thought I'd show you them. They all move, still move. And they're the only reason I'm sticking with TikTok, and I just had enough. And I just found myself being so restricted because I can't be myself. And I decided to start this YouTube channel. This is actually the beginnings of a Silent Hill nurse. I've actually done a short showing you. This is done with epoxy sculpt, and that's done with polymetric ball beads. I'll show you what they look like, but sorry, this is really bad editing. I'm not going to edit this video. It's actually done with these. I mean, I could show you how to do it. It's easy. Hot water. And it melts them, makes them go like clear and like moldable, and then you just fuse it over the doll's head. I do that with a lot of my dolls. Like I will strip the doll bare, and then I'll just get the epoxy sculpt and I'll just mold the thing to the head, so I can actually keep the head moving. So she's actually this thing. I just thought I'd give it a try. I've actually made balloons out of that stuff. I actually made balloons. I had an order for a actual Stephen King It doll, and she actually brought both of them. She brought the male and female one, which is, I do different variations of certain dolls, and the buyer actually brought both dolls. So I actually made balloons and I made a jacket so that the doll had their own thing. Like when I make a Silent Hill nurse, I actually make the little tiny scalpels and the knives and everything, and they go in a little tray and they'll actually stay with the doll. So they're actually like a little bonus gift. But these are some of the dolls I've done. These are actually Monster High clothes that I've modified, and I don't have them so they're removable, because when I was little I'd have my Barbie dolls and I'd get so upset if I lost parts of those dolls. So it's like I still have that fear where if I lose a shoe, I freak out. So that's what I do with my dolls. But her shoes are actually made from epoxy sculpt, so it's a thing. So a lot of the times I actually do mold some of the clothes onto her. But this is just scrap bits of clothing, wool. I just painted. Actually, her head shrunk. You want me to show you how to shrink a doll's head? I'll show you how I shrink a doll's head. Easy as. Nothing to it. But all my dolls I've actually done on a really tight budget. So this is the first doll I did with another doll. I did a short showing it. It actually did pretty well. This cost me less than $10 to make. And I've still got the stuff that I've used for her. I still used it on multiple dolls. Her hair is wool. I brought a packet of wool. It was, at the time it was 5 for $10, or $2.50 now. It's like 3 for $10. And I actually made the fur from the wool and the hair from the wool. And I'll actually show you later how I did that. It's quite easy. So these are the sort of dolls I like to make. There's a very niche market. I don't sell a lot of them. They'll stay on Etsy for so long and they won't sell. And it's really frustrating because I just want them to go to a fair. This one I will never sell because the chances of me getting a living dead doll is really rare. This was a gift because the shoulder, like there was something wrong with the joint here and the arm kept popping off and they couldn't put it on. So what I got was I got a dryer. I softened the plastic and I just kind of wiggled it back and fixed it. And I thought, what a missed opportunity. They could have made that doll some. He was so boring. So I thought, stuff it. I'm going to give him my own twist. And I made it look like he actually had a fight with a lion. You know what? I really like him. So got little puncture marks there. So yeah, he's actually been modified with epoxy sculpt, paint, and some gloss. That's it. Oh yeah, and soft pastels. So that's what I basically did with him. Now this one, soft pastels, a little bit of paint, Mod Podge, fabric, and glue. That's it. And old Monster High clothes. You don't need a great big budget to start off. And this is why, like, you know, it's just the cost of living is so expensive now. So I'm going to show you how to pop the head off a doll. I should cut her hair off, but I don't really have time, so maybe that's what I'm doing. So you just submerge the head into hot water and drown the bitch. Yeah, I'm really immature. In my 40s, and I am so immature. But, you know, life's too short to be serious. I'm serious at work. Like, I don't do as many doll customs as what I used to because I do 45 hours a week. And I'm just too tired. But, so this is another doll I did. Those are false eyelashes. That's actually with the doll's hair. It took me so long to do her hair. Her hair glows in the dark. So I brought this from, I think it's the Doll Planet. And I got like the hair tool and I just sat there drilling each bit. And I really did not like doing that. So I do it my way. I take a big ass needle and I take some wool and I thread it into the hair of the head of the doll, and then I straighten it. And I'll do a tutorial to show you how to do that. I prefer it my way. I've never had a problem. This is actually how the hair turns out. And as you can see, that hair's not going anywhere. I didn't even have to use glue to keep the hair in there. I actually tied a little tiny knot in the end of it and pulled it through. But yeah, that's another doll I did. She cost me, what, 50 cents from a discount shop. And the same paint as what I used with this doll, which I had still after 6 years. A little bit of fur from an old, I don't know, someone gave me a box of scraps and I found this fur. And these are all Monster High dolls. Boots. And it didn't cost me much to make. So yeah, I really like that. But, I'm just waiting for the doll's head to soften. See, go dunk, 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 dunk. I'm gonna wait till, ooh, it's squishy. So I've got to make sure it's a little bit more squishy. So I did make an attempt to top the head off this doll earlier. Yeah, I did a short. My daughter's dog decided to rip the arms off one of her brand new dolls she got for Christmas. And I found all the little pieces and I glued them together. Unfortunately, the joints fused. But the rest of it's still moving. Hi. But this one, I couldn't fix it, so I had an idea. I cut off the arms off another doll and I fused it onto this doll with a little bit of wire and glue. Seems to be holding on really well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some milliput. Where did I put that shit? Excuse my language, but it's an Aussie thing. But I've got some milliput. I'll find it when I'm not looking for it, actually. It's a 2-part thing. I like milliput, but it takes 7 minutes to mix the stuff together compared to epoxy sculpt, which only takes 3 minutes. And if you're like me, who's a little bit ADD, maybe ADHD, I don't have the attention span to sit there and mix clay for 7 minutes. So that's the only downside. I do think you got a bit more working time with milliput. then epoxy sculpt, but they're my go-to for doll modifications. So this is epoxy sculpt. That's epoxy sculpt. See how rock hard it is? I'll send that back and blend it into the plastic. And is this, would you believe, I actually was testing out polymeric beads. These are really cool. You get hot water, dunk them in, swirl them in, melt them together, and then you use them to mold. That's it. I'm trying to find something. Oh, this is epoxy. This is milliput. You want to know why she's wrapped like this? I was doing a TikTok live and they kept restricting the TikTok live, saying there was nudity. I'm thinking, what the hell? Why are they restricting my bloody video? It turned out I had dolls like that in the background. They were detecting the dolls and saying they were nude. I kid you not. So I had to sit there and tape up all the dolls I was using so I wouldn't get my video restricted. Yay. So that's basically, I use epoxy sculpt, I use polymer clay. I love doing this sort of stuff. I like testing what I can do to see if I could make something that's almost as close to what I can see. So a lot of the time with my Monster High dolls, like if I'm doing, like for instance, a Silent Hill nurse, which I tend to use the Barbies, because most of the Barbies, they actually, this one's different, but they actually can move the waist, so I can actually get them into some really good poses. But I prefer the Barbies for the for Silent Hills, while I'll use Monster High for these sort of things. Oh, now I've lost what I'm thinking. God, I'm twit. So yeah, I'm kind of really annoyed with TikTok at the moment. But I use milliput. If I can find where the milliput is, I'll actually show you it. But this one, epoxy sculpt. Or was it milliput? I don't know, I can't remember. So I'll do a show of that where I'll show you how I use it. I do a lot of detail work when it comes, because it will actually hold its shape. And I find my first dolls, she actually was she was a weird Monster High doll that had like she had like scales on her. I don't know what she was. If you knew what she is, put it in the thing. But I didn't like it, so I actually used air drying clay to smooth down the body, and I sanded it. And I can't believe this doll is 6 years old. And yeah, she's a little bit on the ratty side, but she's still working, like her tail still moves. But yeah, I actually used air drying clay. Didn't particularly like it. Found out about epoxy sculpt, never looked back. Only problem with epoxy sculpt is it goes a funny green color. One of I think the hardener part goes a funny green. It oxidizes. Even though it's still usable, it's still really off-putting. But Australia, everything. Oh, I found it. Milliput. 2-part. Mix it together. 7 minutes. Ready to use. And I kid you not, it's 7 minutes. Epoxy sculpt, 3 minutes. So this should be ready to pop. I'm going to squeeze the head out. The glue's a bit sticky. So you just kind of popped it up. That's it. That's how you pop a head off a doll. Just let it cool down. She's done. Now, this one. So those that are on a really tight budget and you can't afford to get a Monster High doll, because where is she? Where the bloody hell is that doll? This doll, when bought brand new, cost me $55. There is no way in hell I would take a $55 doll and modify it. I don't have the money for that. So I would get a cheap ass doll from a discount store, which cost me, I don't know, discount stores are no longer discount stores now, secondhand stores. I mean, I kid you not, I've seen a Monster High doll like that, secondhand, going for $10. And I'm thinking, you got this doll for nothing. So yeah, it kind of annoys me, because it's like everything is going up and up, and our wages, our incomes are not going up, and it's really hard. And I want to make a video where people that are like me, even though my daughter's 18, I'm still helping her out. a single parent with kids that doesn't have a big income, or a teenager that has a very low, like, thing you get for doing tours. I can't remember. God, menopause sucks. But you know what I mean? Like, allowance. You don't have a lot of allowance. I want to make videos where people can say, I can do that. I don't need that much money. So this is why I'm doing it. I'm doing this because I like to help people. And even if I have one viewer, and I help that person out, it would make me so happy. So this is the reason why I'm doing this. And I live in Australia. And I live in Australia. And where's my acetone? Do I really want to use my acetone? Anyway, I live in Australia, and where I am, I can't get arts and crafts stuff. Like, the closest place I can get to polymer clay is in Spotlight, and that's a half an hour drive. That is what it's like here. If I need to get this stuff and this stuff, I've got to have to order it online. So I've got to go bargain hunting. So I have to go to eBay, and I have to go to Amazon. Like, epoxy scotch comes from America. This comes from the UK. I have to order this stuff from overseas. So I have to wait. So I'm always constantly looking for alternatives that are not only easy to get to, but are cheap to use. So if I can help other people in the same boat as me, because all the people that I know do arts, do this stuff, do polymer clay, do earrings and that. They live down Sydney, they live in Melbourne, they live in South Australia. They don't live in my area, so I don't have people to talk to. And everybody I know that's into this stuff are online. And it feels so lonely because you have no one you can turn to if you get into trouble or you don't know what to use. So I'm hoping this can help people. So I do apologize for the quality. I'm using my phone, but I'm just hoping I can help one person at least. You have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.